Come with me on this little adventure to try to find the Bedrock Springs Petroglyph site near Ridgecrest in California. This morning, some buddies of mine and I are heading out into the Mojave Desert to try to find a place called the Bedrock Springs Petroglyph site, named for the spring, but the spring is about a mile away, a little less than a mile away from the actual petroglyph site. So, you know, extrapolate that out into a radius that's about 3/4 of a mile wide, and you could be looking forever. So here's the fun. I read the archaeological report, studied the topographic map, I did a little bit of detective work and some math, and I think I know where it is. I think I was able to find it. I asked my pals at my Facebook group, Ancient Southwest, which you should totally join and participate in and post and comment and join the discussion. I asked everybody if they have this coordinate. Nobody has the coordinate. Nobody knows. So I'm bringing you on this journey to see if we have success. This is the fun part. Okay, we came down the Jeep Road. It wasn't closed. There was access, and we're starting to hike. Oh my God! We're already finding petroglyphs. Success. I wonder if we found archaeological site SBR 1197. This amazing sandstone formation looks like a cathedral. I mean, look at that. There's a rock pile at the top of this hill. What's that all about? Now, why is this rock pile on top of a rock that's pointing somewhere, shaped like an arrow? See? What are you pointing at, rock pile? That's where you come from. You look like a snake running down the mountain. See what you look like from behind. This is what you look like from behind, and you're pointing at those rocks. Why are you pointing at those rocks? Are you trying to tell me something, rock pile? I don't know. What direction are you pointing? See, now this, I think, is a really, really old petroglyph because it's got a figure to it, and it's deep in a shape, and there's one next to it that's also deep, see? Deep. And like almost completely repatinated in parts. That's crazy. This site has been conservatively dated to 4,000 years old, so, with human occupation, so it's possible that this is one of the oldest images here, if this is a petroglyph, which I would bet a lot of money it is. Here's another oldie but goodie.
Maybe the part of the problem is that it's just starting to erode away.
There's one image that's evading us. It's of an antlered quadruped. It's really stuck in my craw that I'm not finding it. No, that's the wrong attitude. Spirits with peace and light, please show me what the land has to offer. Is that better? really just don't know what to make of this boulder. It appears to have petroglyphs on it, really old, weathered ones, but you know, maybe not. I guess it's worth a quick snapshot, right? But sometimes this is what you're dealing with. Just, you know, nature's interesting. Sometimes it's not nature. Sometimes it's a petroglyph. But that's the fun, right? This is the detective work. This is the exploration. If it was easy, everyone would do it. It's about developing an eye for it, I guess, you know. This is kind of that in-between stage where it's difficult to tell. When you look around, you're like, oh man, but who cares anyway? Look at this nature. Oh wow, surprise! Huh, and this is interesting. Erosion? Really, 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 really old carving? I don't know the answer, but petroglyph? Definitely. You know what's pretty cool about this big boulder too? It's really just huge boulder. The biggest one on this little finger ridge I'm on. And it has this just tremendously awesome view of the Cyril's dry lake bed out there. This is a Pleistocene era lake that started drying up about 12,000 years ago. Well, it seems for today we've been denied the antlered quadruped. But oh, I'm being denied my bandana too. You are my new hero. You saved the day. You did it.
It's about
I'm so excited.
500 meters, which is about roughly 4/10 of a mile.
Right. Detective John. Quick recap of the day. The bottom line is success. We found everything we wanted to find, plus, it's always a little bit different than I expect it to be. This one, it says in the conservation report that I read about this site that some human habitation there has been dated to around 4,000 years ago. And it's interesting because I saw some petroglyphs there that were almost totally repatinated, meaning, it's a black rock that had been scratched away, so to reveal an image with a lighter color underneath. The desert varnish had been scratched away, but then the desert varnish returned. So here's a little thing about desert varnish that I recently learned. There's many theories about what causes the desert varnish. Some people think it occurs in a dry climate when a little water is introduced. It makes the minerals within minerals within the rock rise to the surface, and then the sun baking those minerals on the outside of the rock is what creates that black varnish over a rock that it doesn't start out as black. That's the kind of the main idea behind desert varnish. Some people think though that it was formed many years ago, thousands and thousands of years ago during a much wetter climate, that it required a ton of water to make this desert varnish, which would date it to be much older. Well, there was one dude, I don't remember if he was a geologist or what he was, but he took a black desert varnish rock from a desert area of the American Southwest to his home in Santa Rosa, where it rains a ton and it's kind of a foggy, wet climate. He left it in his yard, and within a few years, the desert varnish washed away from the rock. So this kind of disproves the needs tons and tons of water theory, right? Because if there was tons and tons of water, it washes off the rock. So that means that 4,000 years is enough time to repatinate a rock. So some of these petroglyphs, could be that old, and some of them clearly weren't, because you could see the discoloration between the two, between the carving and the rock itself. That was the most interesting thing about this site to me. So I hope you kind of enjoyed seeing how an exploration like this unfolds. If this isn't something you typically do, maybe you wonder how it all happens. But, it starts with an idea. Second, research. Third, asking friends. Fourth, finding out your friends don't know where it is. 5, having to look closer at archaeological reports and try to interpret what they're hiding. And then 6, 7, whatever step that is, go to the site, hike around, have the archaeological report with you if you possibly can, so you can reread it, because now that you're in the context, it seems totally different than you expect it to be, and plus everything's bigger than you expect it to be. And reread and interpret and hunt and peck and hike for miles and look up the hill, look down the hill, and then hopefully you find it. Yeah, a little bit of reading the landscape helps, knowing that what kinds of places are the places that sacred images are placed. Bedrock Springs site is not at Bedrock Springs, so save yourself the grueling hike up the canyon to the spring that is not where the petroglyphs are. It is not a spring-related shamanic site. It's just called the Petroglyph Spring, or Bedrock Springs Petroglyph site, but it is not related to the spring. It is simply a petroglyph site that is near-ish to what's called Bedrock Springs. Get yourself on the internet, get yourself an archaeological report, and you will find it. You will be a desert explorer. I hope this was kind of fun for you. If it was, please like and subscribe, tell a friend, and post your explorations. Comment to this or post your explorations, galleries, ideas over at the Facebook group called Ancient Southwest. That's your spot. That's where you want to be. That's where we're all having the conversation. Okay? Thanks for coming along. May the fire inside you continue to burn brightly.